overtraining myths. That's something I always wondered about myself. I've been training for a long time. I've never felt anything about overtraining. I never do deloads. I just keep on training. Is there such a thing like overtraining? Have you experienced it?
I don't think I've experienced what I've read about as overtraining. Like it's like this mythical unicorn that you hear about. And I think it would probably take a lot to get there. It's not that it's not real. I think there are elite athletes who can probably, or CrossFitters maybe even, who kind of go to certain extremes and end up, if you want to call it overtraining, or end up with rhabdo or something. Like, to me, if you end up with rhabdo, you've probably gone too far. And that is a type of overtraining.
Yeah.
I think you can overextend yourself and drive yourself into the ground if you're doing, depends on your workout routine. I mean, that's all it comes down to. The way I work out now, there's no risk of overtraining at all, but I'm in maintenance mode at this point. I literally do a couple sets per body part every 8 days with intensity, rep range, 5 to 10, going close to failure, not losing any muscle, not losing any strength, and I feel recovered. Now, if I started pushing, I will say probably 7 or 8 years ago, I was trying the high volume approach, and high frequency. So high volume, high frequency. So trying to hit everything twice a week with, 10 sets per body part at a time, so 20 sets a week sometimes on something. I never got to where I was like in a coma or anything, but I was not progressing in the gym. And so to me, that's a sign of overreaching probably, and not giving yourself time to recover. I mean, that's why people do deloads, is to give yourself that planned recovery. And I have done deloads before, but usually only probably more in a calorie deficit when I'm dieting. I feel like they help because you can go to a maintenance phase of your diet for a week, and it's just psychologically beneficial. Whether that actually ramps up fat loss faster, I don't know if there's any truth to that. But from a psychological standpoint, it's nice to give yourself a break, cut down on your volume and intensity for a week, and just live life, and then go back into it. And it just keeps the motivation going. But yeah, I haven't done any research into overtraining because I don't really think about it much. I don't think most people are even close to that point. And so I don't think it's something that needs to be on the radar. I think what needs to be on the radar is learning about programming in general, and the whys of how, what the research at least kind of indicates as far as how to make good progress, how to program your lifts, knowing reps in reserve, and how to judge intensity and effort. And then listening to your body to see what exercises work and what don't. So many people just read a routine or read comments and think, oh, okay, I have to do these exercises, and they'll run themselves into the ground with injuries because their body mechanics aren't built for that. Like, I can't squat. I can't. The only kind of squat I can really do is like on a Smith machine, where I can really hammer in to focus in and keeping my back perfectly straight against the bar and push into it. If I have to do a free range of motion squat, my hips are so messed up, and my levers are weird, and I found the same thing with benching. Like, I never got any pec stimulation out of it, but I kept doing it and hurting my shoulders. And finally I started doing machines and cables and flies, and it's like, oh, hey, I'm starting to get a little bit of a pec now. I don't have good pecs anyway, but it's like all these years I wasted just because I thought I had to do something a certain way. I know that's a tangent from what we're talking about, but I think in general, people just need to learn smart programming, how to do it on your own, and then you can make adjustments over time based on those principles that you already know. And you'll probably avoid overtraining too, because you'll learn how to listen to your body and notice if your lifts are constantly, like when I did I think it was Windler's 531 years ago when I was in med school, I ran myself in the ground on that because I'm doing these crazy heavy workouts, but like 3 times a week, total body, with like power lift level rep ranges, and I could never progress that way. And I think some guys are cut out to do it that way, and obviously if drugs come into the mix, that changes everything. But for a natural lifter, you don't need to do anything insane. It doesn't take as much as people think to stimulate. Stimulate, don't annihilate. Get it done, get out. And so I've actually gone back to more of a heavy duty training philosophy in general, not per se Mike Mincer style, but there's lots of variations of those, like Max OT and all these others, or Dante Trudell's, dog crap training. You're hitting it hard. You might do some rest pause, and you get out and you recover, and you just do it again, and then just monitor progress.
Yeah. You get wiser, getting older anyway.
Hope so.
Yeah, you live, you learn. Dave Lee asked me to ask you how to get arms like yours, Jordan.
I have always had decent arms, even when I was a kid, and with the minute I picked up barbells, but nothing else followed. So People ask me that, on our trip recently, I have a tank top on. They're like, "Oh, what do you do for your arms?" I'm like, "Nothing really. A couple sets of hammer curls twice a week." I mean, it just is. But I'll ask guys that who have good pecs sometimes, and they're like, "Yeah, I've always had good pecs." So yeah. I think, again, play it smart. You're gonna hit your compounds, throw in a little accessory. These guys spending hours on arms, you're spinning your wheels, in my opinion. I think if you need a specialization routine to bring them up because you're a bodybuilder, that's one thing. But in general, if you're doing the good basic lifts, and then you just hit the rest, a couple times a week, not killing them, you'll be fine.
Yeah, sure.